So ladies and gentlemen, we'll now move on to fight number 5. It is brought to you by the team at Captain's Daughter. It is a middleweight bout contested over three 3-minute rounds, and introducing first, out of the red corner, Darcy, Nunan.
We have Darcy, Nunan, first fighter up for our fight number 5, fighting out of Gamebred in Brisbane. Coming to his MMA debut with a 12-fight kickboxing Muay Thai experience. So he's had some experience being inside the ring or the cage.
Yep.
Which we know plays a lot on people having their first fights.
Absolutely, Anton. Really helps calm those nerves, of course. He's been there before. The only thing that's different is the rule set in the gloves. So let's see how Darcy Nunan looks here. I did speak to a couple of the boys from Gamebred Academy, and they say while he does wear a white belt, his jiu-jitsu is coming along nicely, and they're more than confident that he'll be able to hold his own should things hit the mat with Danger Staveley. So, of course, in his corner there, it looks like Coastal Combat veteran Ryan Bishop, and, of course, Jason Lonergan, the man behind the crew at Gamebred. A couple of big supporters there of Coastal Combat. So great to have the Gamebred boys back on site.
You know those boys come ready to fight.
Oh, yeah. So like you mentioned, the 12 fights in Muay Thai. First time walking here for MMA. Does list his favourite fighter as Mirko Krokop, and we can certainly understand why. I might give you a bit of an insight into the types of things he's going to be looking for out there. When asked how he saw this fight going, he had one simple answer, and he said finished.
And introducing his opponent, out of the blue corner, Dan, the Danger Staveley.
And we got Daniel Staveley fighting out of Combat Lab. So tell me about him. I know you've done some training with him, no doubt.
Well, I tell you what, Anton, there are some people that just love being in a dogfight, and you are looking at one on screen right here. This man is responsible for, in my opinion, the greatest fight we have ever seen inside this Coastal Combat cage. His fight against Lucas Darcius on Coastal Combat 6, an absolute instant classic. He got dropped about 4 times in the first round, came back with a second round ground and pound TKO victory. There is no quit in this man.
It reminded me of the Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner fight. You know, it's what made the UFC, and I have to admit, Daniel's last fight has definitely just boosted Coastal Combat.
Absolutely. So Dan coming in here 2-0 as an amateur, both second round TKO victories for him in his opening 2 bouts.
So fighting in the middleweight division, these boys got some size to them.
So Dan Staveley at the prep point now, about to make the walk into the cage for his 3rd time here as an amateur.
And as we can see, Pete Hickmon's having a bit of a discussion with Darcy Nunan's corner, because he actually has a zip on his pants, which will need to be taped up before the start of the fight. As we know, you can't have any pockets, no zips, in case finger, a bit of clothing gets caught and injuries occur. It's for the safety of the fighters, and Peter is on top of that straight away.
So ladies and gentlemen, fight number 5 this evening is brought to you by the Captain's Daughter. It is an amateur middleweight bout which will be contested over 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 83.8 kilos and trains out of Gamebred Academy. A 12-fight Muay Thai veteran tonight. He makes his MMA debut. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Darcy Nunan. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 83.9 kilos and trains out of Combat Lab Martial Arts, holding an undefeated amateur record of 2 wins and 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dan, the Danger Staveley. And when your action begins, your referee in charge, Peter Hickmott.
As we can see, Peter's postponing this fight until we can get some tape for the fighters to be able to cover that zip on Darcy's pants.
And would you look at Dan Staveley? He is as ready to go as you could be for a cage fight. He is certainly chomping at the bit. Darcy Nunan here, like you mentioned, Anton, quick of an outfit adjustment. As per the MMAA rules, no exposed zippers allowed inside the cage. It makes sense.
Safety first.
Exactly. If you're grappling and a zipper gets caught in someone's eye or something like that, it could obviously cause quite a debilitating injury. So,
as you know, when you got Peter on the job, he ain't going to let anything slide.
He doesn't miss much, does he?
Safety of fighters first and foremost, and that's what I love about it.
There's a lot of referees that wouldn't have caught that, but we are treated to the best in the biz here.
You know, he just came back from Middle East doing the UFC, straight back in the Sunshine Coast doing Coastal Combat.
Did UFC 242 over there. Unfortunately, that's why we didn't have him at the last Coastal Combat. And here we go, underway. Dan, the Danger Staveley, Darcy Nunan. So evidently Darcy looking to try and keep things on the feet, I would assume, here as the Muay Thai experienced.
Daniel's doing a very good job of moving side to side, so he's not standing directly in front of Nunan.
If there's one issue with Dan Staveley's striking, it is that he is maybe a little too happy to get into these types of fights. I know that during camp it was something that the coaching staff really worked on at Combat Lab. Calm down, Dan. Not everything needs to be in the phone booth. So let's see if we can get that jab popping and use that range.
Especially with the reach that he has.
Exactly,
you know, definitely needs to utilise that. Keep Darcy away and just pick those shots a little bit nicer. He's already opened up a card on Nunan's right eye.
I saw him smile, and from my angle I couldn't see why, but that's evidently why. A couple of rips to the body there.
Oh, lovely stiff jab from both boys.
So there's the
lovely takedown. Run through, single.
Dan Staveley now with the body lock. Let's see, looks for the trip and gets it.
Straight to his back, sinks in, first hook, second hook.
Beautiful stuff, Dan Staveley. The blue belt in jiu-jitsu, outranking the white belt here in Darcy Nunan.
Needs to really pick those shots, which he's doing a great job. Can he sink in? There we go, first.
I tell you what, the way Dan Staveley fights, it's he doesn't seem like the submission type of guy, but he does have some pretty tricky chokes.
With arms and legs like him, you definitely don't want him not keeping him contained, that's for sure.
So a little high in the back here. Let's see. Looks to try and grab the head to peel him off. Let's see if Dan Staveley can readjust here and align the hips a little better.
Doing a very good job of controlling that posture.
Momentarily lost the hook there, Dan Staveley did, but straight back onto it. So impressed with Darcy Nunan's jiu-jitsu here, doing a good job defensively to minimise damage here. Dan Staveley probably a little too high in the back at this point in time, Anton.
Maybe he can readjust, take some strikes, readjust, sit his hips back a little bit more so he gets that balance.
It looks like he's trying to flatten out the legs of Darcy Nunan.
Has he noticed how big they are?
And a couple of big boys in here, middleweight as heavy as we're going tonight, so 30 seconds to go.
Hold out for that first round.
A couple of nice shots landed there. Dan Staveley.
He's trying to do a very good job of trying to roll him over, get him off that turtle position. There we go.
Oh, some big wind-ups there. Nice shot under the arm.
I think Nunan survives this first round.
He's done a great job minimising the damage, Darcy Nunan, but Dan Staveley definitely going to get the nod here on the judges' scorecards for round one.
And there is a nice little cut over that right eyebrow of Darcy Nunan, but I think that whole round was all Daniel.
Dan Staveley is an animal. He is having so much fun in there. So Darcy Nunan now back on the stool. Let's see how Darcy can see the adjustments that he can make in between rounds. I mean, realistically, when things were on the feet, he was doing quite well. It was just that one caught leg kick that Dan did a great job turning into a grappling exchange. So not a bad round there from Darcy Noonan. Just unfortunately, sometimes when you get caught in those positions, Anton, it can be really tricky to try and escape.
Especially if he doesn't have that experience, as we've seen. But I mean, you know, if you're Daniel and you're in the corner, you got Ty and Joel, then you're definitely going to be nice and relaxed coming into that second round. You know, just a repeated performance of that first really is all we need. Beautiful.
Interesting note about Dan Staveley. He and his partner Casey actually planning to move overseas for a few months. They booked the trip initially, and it was supposed to be, they were supposed to leave in early Feb. When he found out Coastal Combat was late Feb, they actually pushed the trip back and they're leaving next week. So Dan Staveley wanted to get one more in before he left the country, and we're very glad he did.
Oh, straight in for that shoot. I think he's trying to rush in for that double leg, which might not be as effective as he did in the first round, where he really set up the ability to shoot based on his striking.
So some nice leg kicks landed from Darcy Noonan. Checks that one though.
Oh, and Darcy had a little bit of a stumble there. Ooh.
Nice check from Dan too. So that's what you got to do to stop those leg kicks.
A couple of stiff checks definitely stopped me from kicking your shins.
Tell you what though, the Muay Thai experience from Darcy Noonan probably does mean that he does have some well-conditioned shins. Up into a double leg now, is Dan Staveley.
He's doing a good job trying to peel him up, not let his hands join behind his legs. You know, trying to control Daniel, really peel him up, keeps that overhead.
Oh, beautiful single leg.
Single leg. Oh, someone's lost the mouth guard. Don't stop. Keep going. Good job, Pete. Got to keep that elbow in, try and turn into him.
Oh, Dan's got an arm trapped here. Let's see what he's going to look for. Oh, Darcy doing a great job turning it into a takedown attempt. Beautiful grappling.
Needs to peel that ankle and drive over the top, which he has. Lovely.
Well, here we go. The 12-fight Muay Thai veteran with some pretty impressive wrestling chops. Let's see what Dan Staveley's got off his back now. So you can see him digging for that left underhook. Here, Ty Duncan calling for it in his corner. And almost a Kimura attempt from Darcy Noonan. Fought against it though. Let's see if we can get the danger Dan Staveley up on his elbow and try and get out of there.
He's definitely using a good job using that underhook to reduce the damage Darcy can do, because he can't set properly. And here we go. He's got the nice underhook now. So I'd like to see a little bit of posture maybe and get some of that damage back that he's taken in the last round and a half.
Very impressed with Darcy Noonan's top game here. The team at Gamebred obviously doing a great job rounding out his skill set. So Dan Staveley turning in here.
Oh, lovely hammer fist there, just picking those shots.
Oh, look for the head and arm attempt here. Dan Staveley doing his best to try and clear that elbow under the head of Darcy Noonan.
But what's great is I would have loved to have seen Darcy use that to pass his guard. You know, get that two-prong attack.
Key-lock attempt.
Ooh, nice strike off the back of that. Good shoulder pressure, as we said before, about keeping the back flat on the ground. Just probably not enough damage to really give Daniel something to think about. Oh, there we go.
On cue. A couple of nice shots to finish.
Lovely second round from Darcy.
And just as Jason Lonergan, the head coach from Gamebred, walks past me, he just said one each. And I think that's about right. One each here heading into the third. Both boys are around in the bank. Dan Staveley the first, Darcy Noonan likely taking the second there, Anton. So
Daniel's got some ice on that leg. Maybe that's an indication that some of those leg kicks from Darcy were actually hitting their target.
Yes, sometimes those long, lanky legs, though, they can be deceiving. You'll see guys kind of stumble, and you might think that there's an issue, but sometimes it's just the length of their leg can make it hard to get it back underneath them. So difficult to know how much damage was done. We did see a couple checked there. So,
as I said, coming out of this third round, I'd like to see Daniel use his hands a bit more to set up those good shots. And Darcy keep his striking and his wrestling defense on point.
And here we go, clapping us in, Hickmont there for the third and final. Oh, look at this.
Darcy with the shot.
Well, he did have a lot of success on top there in round 2, so we're going to recreate that now as we see Dan Staveley.
Oh, his knee is definitely not in a very happy position.
Fantastic shot there from Darcy Nunan.
I think the fact that it was very highly unexpected is definitely helped him out, that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that Dan Staveley didn't think he had to train too much takedown defense for this fight.
But Daniel's doing a very good job of trying to get straight back up.
So, a bit of urgency in the corner for Dan Staveley. He's got to get things moving here. He's again looking for this arm triangle choke, so obviously one of Darcy's favourites.
Again, doing a very good job keeping Daniel's back flat on the floor, which really reduces the amount of effort that you can apply into your opposition to stand back up.
Yep, inside the final 2 minutes here, and valuable control time racking up here for Darcy Nunan. Dan Staveley looked to go to deep half there for a moment. So the corner from Gamebred calling for a little more activity on top from Darcy Nunan. Oh, look at this, into mount. He's got the knee touching the mat, but Dan Staveley, nice job at recapturing half guard.
Nice and controlled underneath. You know, he's not freaking out. He's keeping his emotions in check.
Darcy is doing such a great job at immediately getting that underhook back when Dan Staveley does get it. You saw it there momentarily. Dan Staveley had that underhook, and straight away Darcy pummeled.
Beautiful step over into side control here. What I'd like to see from Darcy is trying to pull Daniel or push Daniel off the cage, get a bit more space into the middle of the cage. That way he can't use the cage to stand back up. He's got less than a minute. Oh, lovely step over into mount. Doing a very good job controlling and landing some big ground and pound.
Some big shots landed, but if there's something we know about Dan Staveley, it's that the man has a chin. Only 40 seconds to go here. So Darcy Nunan doing a great job controlling position, and he's looking for this arm triangle choke. Dan Staveley's got to keep that leg trapped if he wants to survive. Beautiful butterfly hook there from Darcy Nunan to try and clear his right leg.
20 seconds to go. I think Daniel needs a sub in the last 20. I want to see something exciting. Hail Mary. Is there a Hail Mary from Combat Lab in this position?
No, I don't think so. He's now been mounted, and there we have it.
What
3 rounds in the books
from Darcy.
So Darcy Nunan feels like he's done enough to take those last 2 rounds. We'll go to the scorecards and make it official shortly.
What a turnaround from these two fighters. Leaning towards Daniel at the start of the fight. That middle round just started to change the direction, and Darcy just finished strongly. You know, that takedown straight off the 3rd round, I think, caught Daniel off guard, and then set up the rest of the round from there. As a good friend of mine says, expect the unexpected, eh?
So ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Darcy Nunan. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with our winner from fight number 5, Darcy Nunan. We mentioned in the walkouts there on commentary, 12 fights in the Muay Thai ring, and tonight your debut here in the cage. And tell you what, I think you took Dan Staveley by surprise there, some pretty slick double legs. What was the game plan coming in here tonight?
To win. I know I'm strong, got good wrestling. I know I come from a Muay Thai and kickboxing background, but I think my strength is my wrestling.
Well, it certainly looked like that here tonight. Obviously training out of Gamebred Academy. Talk to me a little bit about the team there and what they've done to help round out your skill set.
It's a great team. It's probably the best team I've ever trained at. Amazing fighters out there, push me every day.
Well, of course, your first fight in the cage, like I mentioned, can we expect to see more of you inside the MMA cage to come?
100%, this is me from here on out.
Well, I can't wait to see more. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Darcy Nunan.